Today I want to start something different. I want to review the prop firms that have given out the most amount of payouts for traders so that you understand what the good things and the bad things are of that specific prop firm. And obviously, we could only start with one prop firm, and they have crushed it in CFDs and on futures. Right now, we're going to review everything because they have plans for whoever you are. Beginner, advanced. Want an easy payout? Want an easy challenge? Want an expensive challenge or want a cheap challenge? They have everything for you, and I'm going to explain exactly why these challenges are priced the way they are by talking about the good and the bad. One of my most favorite things about FundedNext is rewards in 24 hours. There is a lot of prop firms that we've seen recently that are delaying payouts, that are completely changing the rules and denying every single payout that they had already approved. And with FundedNext, if you don't get paid in 24 hours, you get a $1,000 extra on top. That is why this is one of my favorite features of FundedNext. And if you check, I always mention this, not only because I've been able to take advantage of it because of error in their system, but also because it brings confidence in traders that the team has to work to approve your payout and send it out, or else you're gonna get $1,000 extra. And they're actually one of the most popular futures prop firms right now. They have three different plans: the Flex, the Legacy, and the Rapid. Now the Flex is the most cheapest one out there, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why. By the way, with code Kimmel, you can always get the best discount code. So in this case, you're gonna get 47% off and a 50k account for just $70. Now, why is it that this challenge is $70? Well, for one single reason. They made the challenge a little bit harder and the maximum withdrawal a little bit lower. Why is this? You need to understand that within prop firms, there's always going to be a balance between these three things: price, challenge, and funded accounts. And if you want the cheapest price, you're going to have a little bit of a harder challenge and a little bit of harder funded accounts. And that's what they did with the Flex. It gives a great entry point to beginner traders who don't mind the consistency rule on the challenge because they're not going to full port the challenge, but also one payout is able to 20x the amount of money that they've put in. And believe me, I've seen multiple traders doing this. So this is why the Flex is amazing. It's a very nice beginning entry point. Now the Legacy is different. The Legacy, I always go for the 50k accounts, by the way. The Legacy have a 1.5 profit to drawdown ratio. They still have the 40% consistency rule, but then the maximum withdrawal is $6,000. And there is no consistency rule on the funded account. So notice what they did with the Legacy challenge. They upped the price. They upped the challenge difficulty. So what happened? The funded accounts are very, very easy to get a payout from, which is absolutely amazing. This is, by the way, one of my favorite ones. Why? I used to go for the Rapid because I'm the type of trader that I've made so much money from prop firms that right now I just want to get more funded accounts. And on the Rapid, the 50Ks, they have a consistency rule on the challenge and they have the maximum withdrawal. And so what I've understood is that for me, yes, before, the easiest challenge was the most important thing, but right now, I just want to get paid, so I want to make sure that I have a lot of ease on the funded accounts. So this is why the Legacy is so amazing, because you have a 40% consistency rule on the challenge, a $3,000 profit target with a $2,000 maximum end of loss limit, but no consistency rule, no daily loss limit. You can withdraw $6,000 at one time and you can get paid in 5 days. So this is why the Legacy is one of my favorite ones. And then the Rapid, as I mentioned, is also very, very good because what they do with the Rapid is for traders that really just want to be funded. They want to skip the challenge part. Traders like myself that don't want to stay on the challenge so long. And so they made the challenge so incredibly easy with price just normal. So what has to be a little bit harder is the funded accounts. Right? When the challenge is easy, the challenge has to be somewhere else. And in this case, it is on the funded accounts. That's why you have the 40% consistency rule on the Pro. You can withdraw $1.2 thousand. You have no daily loss limit, but you can get paid in just 3 days. And then they added one more thing, and this is amazing. They added a daily payout option where you have a maximum loss limit of $2,000, same as before, a daily loss limit of $1,000. You have no consistency rule, but you can get paid on a daily basis. Yes, daily. And all you have to do to start getting daily payouts is to make $2.1 thousand, and then you can start withdrawing daily. That's it, right? So same price, and you can choose between getting a payout every 3 days because you have the consistency rule, or getting a payout daily. The only requirement is being above the buffer level, which is absolutely amazing. So we've talked about the future side. I want to go to the CFD side too, but I want to break down exactly who each challenge is for. If you want the most affordable challenge, the 50K flex is the best one by far. You can still 20x your money within one payout, which is absolutely insane. Then the legacy is when you want a little bit of a harder challenge, but you want to make sure that you can make as much money on the funded account as possible, right? With no consistency rule, and you can withdraw up to $6,000. And if you want to pass as fast as possible and get funded, then you have the rapid plan. And the rapid plan is now divided into two, whether you want the consistency rule, which would be the pro, but no daily loss limit, or if you want daily payouts and the only requirement is that you're above the buffer. That's basically pretty much any challenge you could look for, it is here. Whatever negatives are on the FundedNext features are pretty much the negatives on all of the other prop firms, which is the fact that you have trailing drawdown. A lot of people don't like trailing drawdown, but that's just common across all of the other futures prop firms. And the other thing that I will also say is that they are just a little bit higher priced. And why is that? Because of guarantee of getting paid in 24 hours, because of the guarantee that they're not gonna retire a plan and all of a sudden they're not gonna pay anyone out, right? That's the type of things that you're going for. Now let's talk about the CFDs. I wanted to leave CFDs for last for one specific reason. They're launching something very, very interesting very soon. And that is that they're trying to bring a futures plan into the CFD side. They're the first CFD prop firm that actually does this. It's going to be a very cheap $50,000 challenge for $100, and it will have the same characteristics. But let's talk about all of these before. Now, on these, I'm going to talk about the 100K accounts. These are my favorite ones. I love 100K accounts. They are the best. Stellar two-step for me is always going to be the benchmark for any single prop firm, right? Your two-step program, how easy or how hard is it to pass? And the best thing with CFDs is that they're very easy to understand always. You have to make 8% in phase 1 and 5% in phase 2, but you have a maximum drawdown of 10%, which is static. And this is important because a lot of traders look at the fact that you have to make 8% and 5% and they think, oh my God, this is so hard. When in reality, the only reason why it doesn't seem hard on the futures side is because people are way more used to risking way more. On CFDs, people are used to risking 1%, 2%, and so obviously it takes longer. But the profit to drawdown ratio, which is how difficult the challenge is, the closer the profit to drawdown ratio is to 0, the easier it is to pass. And on FundedNext two-step, it's 13 divided by 10, which is 1.3, which is as low as all of the other futures prop firms, right? Which is pretty much why I love the Stellar two-step. You get the refundable fee after the first withdrawal, which is amazing. They've now become so much transparent too, which is you can risk at maximum 3% at one time. And then all you have is a daily loss limit and a maximum loss limit. You can make as much money as you want, as little money as you want, and the drawdown will not catch up to you. It's amazing, right? The Stellar one-step is different because the way that they approach it is you only have one challenge, but notice what the profit to drawdown ratio is. 10 divided by 6. It's 1.6. So this might seem easier because you only need to make 10%, but guess what? It's actually harder because you have the daily loss limit and you have a maximum loss limit, right? And by the way, I forgot to say this on the Stellar two-step. After you make 15% on the funded account, you're going to get an extra $2,000 as a performance reward. But this is insane. Beyond the refundable fee that you also get. Like, this is absolutely insane. So in this one, it is very, very simple. You only have one phase. It's a little bit harder to pass. It's similar price. So what's missing here? Harder challenge, similar price. So the funded accounts are going to be a little bit better. You can get paid. Your first withdrawal can be after 5 business days, right? That's the biggest difference. The first withdrawal is within 5 business days, while on the Stellar 2-step is within 21 days because you have to wait 2 weeks to get the payout. Here, it's different, right? That's the massive difference between the Stellar 2-step and the 1-step. Challenge harder, price the same, so therefore funded account easier. Now, Stellar Lite. This is where you get a cheaper challenge. And now let me bring this over to you. If it's cheaper, and you get the same withdrawal in 21 days, then which one do you think is harder? Stellar 2-step or Stellar Lite? It's obviously going to be the Stellar Lite. The challenge is going to be harder. You have profit target of phase 1, 8%, profit target of phase 2 of 4%, maximum loss limit of 8%, but you also have a daily loss limit of 4%. So that gives you a profit to drawdown ratio of 1.5 versus the Stellar 2-step being 1.3. And the other difference is that you don't get the performance reward and the refundable fee is only after the 3rd withdrawal. But you're also getting a cheaper challenge. So again, it's about the balance that we consistently talk about: price, challenge, and funded accounts. The reason I love making these videos is because I always like to talk about the good and the bad things of each challenge, and I love the prop firm industry as it has completely changed my life. Before, once I started trading, I needed investor capital to make any significant amount of money because I was broke. I had $1,000 in my bank account pretty much throughout my whole teens, right? Until my 20s. And now with prop firms, everything changed. This is why I love this, and this is why I love talking about it. And last but not least, they have the instant funding account. Personally, I don't like instant funding. I can still talk about it, but I personally don't like it. I don't go for instant funding, especially on CFDs. But the rules are very, very simple. You have a maximum loss limit of 6%, and the drawdown is trailing, right? The great thing, by the way, is that they have no consistency rule. They have no minimum trading days, and they have no daily loss limit. So what's the catch? Is that every single time that you withdraw, you're getting closer and closer to that trailing drawdown. That's pretty much it. It's a way harder funded account. But I'll say this is one of the best instant fundings, but it's $600. And you get $1.2 thousand worth of drawdown, right? And it's trailing. So you have to make about 5% to be able to withdraw $6,000. And then the trailing drawdown has catched up to you. Can you see why personally I'm not a fan of a Stellar instant account? I'm just not, right? Price is jacked up high. Listen, I'm a profitable trader. Whatever challenge I have to pass, I will pass it. I don't care. I will pass whatever challenge I have to pass. And so therefore, personally, the only challenge that I go for on the CFD side is the Stellar 2-step. But if you want to go for the future side, you also have all of the other challenges that we talked about. The Flex, which is the cheapest one, the Legacy or the Rapid, which are the two that I would personally choose. I love the Legacy because I'm able to withdraw as much as possible, and I love the Rapid when I just feel like passing an account and getting more funding under my belt. Now, as I mentioned, FundedNext is now developing FundedNext Lab. It's where they're going to be experimenting with different challenges. And this is a quick sneak peek of what is the first thing coming. Bold ideas tested in the open. That's why they call it the lab, right? And so they're going to start FNL01. No daily drawdown, 1-step CFD 50K challenge for $99 for a 50K account, which is pretty much the cheapest 50K account out there. You get a profit target of 6%, 80% profit split, but you get end of day trailing drawdown. What do they want to do with this? They want to see if the futures model works on the CFD. They want to see if you are interested in this model. So I'd love to know in the comments if you are, by the way. And the challenge is going to be very simple, incredibly cheap. So what's going to happen? Challenge is going to be a little bit harder, funded account a little bit harder. Profit target of $3,000 with an end of day trailing drawdown of $2,000, so 1.5 profit to drawdown ratio, and you have a consistency rule of 40%. And then on the funded accounts, you can withdraw 50% of your profit up to $2,000. And once you do withdraw it, it's $50,100. Your drawdown goes to $50,100. And this is Interesting to see, because I always wondered why CFD prop firms didn't try to apply the model that the futures prop firm were using and getting a lot of success with. And now FundedNext is doing that. All of that also with the guarantee that you're going to get paid in 24 hours. So this is great. Let me know what other prop firms you want me to talk about down in the comments. Let me know of what your favorite plan on the CFD side and on the futures side is. And if you ever want to use FundedNext, use code Kimmel, you'll always get the best discount code. So with that being said, if you want to see how I scale to $10,000 a month, this is the video for you to watch, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.